Hello, good evening all. Am I audible? Any doubts in the yesterday's class? Any doubts? I hope you people are completed the programs whatever I given. If anybody having any problem regarding assignment whatever I given in the previous class. Okay. So any doubts? If you don't have any doubts, we'll go for next topic. Okay. Right. So I hope all of you are practicing, uh, especially the students who are using mobile. Any issues with mobile? Are you able to practice the programs whatever we discussed in the class? If there are any doubts uh, with the mobile or with even with the computer also, while using this Python IDLE in the computer or laptop or okay, using the app in Google Play Store. Okay, so I hope all of you are written some programs, whatever the programs we did in the class or whatever the programs are given in the assignment. I hope if you completed that programs, okay, then then everything is fine from your side regarding the software. If there are any issues, if there are any errors, or if there are if you are not understanding how to use the tool or how to use the software, then please let me know. So I hope everyone is able to use the software for Python programming without any difficulties, right? Okay. So now I'll go to the next topic. So yesterday we discussed about how to use the how to use the strings. How can I define single string for a single variable? How can I define the same string for multiple variables? And how can I define same string for multiple variables, different strings for different variables? We seen all these things, right? And how to assign or how to define a complex number for a single variable, a complex number for multiple variables, and different complex numbers for different variables. Okay. So before going to the next topic, let me show you how we are going to use these complex numbers in Python. Complex numbers. Already yesterday I showed you some examples like example or like a 3 plus 4j. It's a complex number in Python. Okay, so always the complex number format in Python is in the form of a plus bj. A plus bj, where a is nothing but okay, the syntax is in the form of a plus bj. A plus bj. So what is a, what is b? A is nothing but real part, b is nothing but imaginary part. Okay, so a is a real part, or we can say real number, and b is a imaginary part. For example, for example, in some of the complex numbers, I may not have imaginary part. I may not have imaginary part. For example, I'll show you some examples. Okay, so this is just I'm showing some examples from shell. So let me write some a is equals to some 3 plus 4j. So I assign some complex number for a. If you want to check it out whether it is a complex number or not, you can write type of A. Then it is going to return it's a complex number. It's a complex number. Okay. For example, maybe I can write some B is equals to some 3 plus 0j. 0j means the imaginary part is 0. So again you check it whether it is a complex or not. Yes, it is a complex. This is the one way how we are going to use complex numbers. What is the way? The way is very simple. You define real and you define imaginary. This is real A plus B into J. Okay. So and what about other way? How can I use complex numbers in Python? The other way is you can use complex. You can mention real part and you can mention imaginary part. You can mention real part and you can mention imaginary part. Okay. How can you define this? Complex of real comma imaginary. Now let me give some simple example here. For example, I can write print of complex of 3 comma 5. Okay, if you observe here, complex of 3 comma 5. What is 3? As I said, first thing is this first parameter is real. Second parameter is imaginary. So complex of 3 comma 5 means 3 plus imaginary part is 5. So 3 plus 5j. Similarly, if you want to write some print of complex of 10 comma 20. Okay, now tell me what is the output for this? Please type it in the chat box. What is the output for this? Print of complex of 10 comma 20. Please type it in the chat box. What is the output for this? Yes. Okay. One response I got it from remaining students. Please respond. What is the output for this? Okay. Very good. So here you can use a complex number in Python in this way also, where you can use a real part and imaginary part. You can write complex of you can write 10 comma 20, complex of 10 comma 20. Okay, so this is one way you can get it. For example, my question is I have a number A is equals to some 4. A is equals to 4. So if I have A value, now anyone tell me, if I want to print a type of A, what is the type of A? Anyone can tell me what is the type of A? What is the type of A? Anyone can tell me? Please type it in the chat box. What is the type of A? Yes, very good. So type of A is integer. So my question is, I want to convert numbers from one type to other. I want to convert numbers from one type to other. So what is one type to other? First, I want to convert some integer number to float. I want to convert integer number to float, and I want to convert integer number to complex. Okay, like that. We'll see how we are going to convert this integer to float and integer to complex like that. We'll see that. Okay. So here I am having some integer that A is okay, having 4. So it is of integer type. Okay, it's very clear. If I use type function, it is going to return its integer type. That is fine. Now what I am going to do is I'm going to convert this. I'm going to convert this to complex. All of you please observe here. Print of complex of A. Print of complex of A. So now if you observe here, actually A is of integer type. A is of integer type. The value I considered is 4. What I am doing here, I am going to convert that integer type value to complex type. Because it is having only one number, So that is going to be treated as a real part, and imaginary part will be treated as a 0. So that is the reason why we got output as 4 plus 0j. All of you understood how to convert integer to complex? All of you understood how to convert integer to complex? Okay, so understood all of you, right? Now I want to convert integer to float. Integer to float. I want to convert integer to float. Already you know what is integer, what is float. Integer is nothing but a number which is not having, okay, integer is nothing but a number which is not having any decimal part. Float is nothing but a number which is having decimal part. So now I want to convert some integer number to float. Okay, so for example, I'll consider b is equals to some 20. If you want to check, you can check type of b, print of type of b. So it is integer, b is of integer, right? It's an integer. Now what I'm going to do is, I want to convert this print of float of b. Now anyone can guess what is the output of this print of float of b? Anyone can guess what is the output of this? Yes, 20.0 float. Remaining students, please respond. Na? Okay, so because I want some interaction. Okay, I want some interaction in these classes. Always, if I am taking something, okay, it's not going to be looking good. Okay, I want some activeness from your side also, so that yes, most of the students are given correct answer. Okay, let us check. Okay, so here float of b. So what is the output we got? We got 20.0. 20.0 is the output. Okay, so this is nothing but converting an integer to float. So here integer is 20 and conversion of that integer to float is 20.0. Okay, so now my question is, can I convert float to integer? Float to integer? Can I convert float to integer? For example, I take some float value c is equals to 1.23. You can check its type of c. Type of c is it's a float. Fine, c is float. But my requirement is I want to convert float to integer. Float to integer. I want to convert this float number to integer. Okay. So what I want to do, simply I can write print of c. Now can you guess what is the output of this int of c? C is 1.23. What is int of c? Yes, one response I got. 2 responses. Remaining students, please respond, because these all are very basics. I think maybe you studied in your mathematics, or maybe in C language, or somewhere you heard about this. This is actually pure mathematics. Okay, without any knowledge also you can guess the answers. Yes. Okay. So here int of c is nothing but it is 1. So always you remember, whenever I am trying to convert any float number to integer, okay, the answer is very simple. Already the answer is there in the definition itself. What is definition? Definition of integer. Integer definition already defined. Integer is nothing but a number without any decimal point. A number without any decimal point. So what I am doing here, I considered a number with a decimal point, that is known as float. I am trying to convert that number to integer. So how can I convert? Converting is nothing but simply you can write int before your C or before any name, it may be C or A or B or something. So what is the output? Already you know what is integer. Integer means there is no decimal number or there is no decimal point. So just you remove this decimal point, that is the output. If you remove the decimal point, that is the output. So here that's why we got 1 here. And what about integer to float? Integer to float. Here already we seen integer to float. Integer is 20 and I want to convert this 20 to float. And already you know what is float and what is integer. Float is nothing but a number which is having decimal point. Okay. So just you add decimal point for this integer. So what is the decimal point you are going to add? The equivalent value for 20 is in the float is by adding decimal point, that is nothing but 20.0. That's it. Converting integer to float is nothing but adding decimal point and keep a 0 beside decimal point. Whereas converting from float to integer is nothing but simply remove the numbers after decimal point, including decimal point. You don't consider the numbers what are there after decimal point, including the decimal point. The remaining number will become the integer. So any doubts here? These conversions, integer to float, float to integer, integer to complex. Sir, if any 4-digit integer is given, then how it is going to convert into float? Anything, any digit number, simply adding 0 only. Okay, I'll go with some more examples. Okay, for example, D is equals to some big number I am taking. Okay, 124, 124. So now you are asking me to convert this to, if you want, you can check it out whether it is integer or not first. Type of D, it's integer. Now I want to convert to float. Print of float of D. Just adding 0.0, that's it. Just you are trying to add 0.0, whether it is small number or big number or whatever it may be. For example, I'll take some more big number. I want to take a number with some more digits. This is a big number. If you want, you can check it out. Type of E is integer. And you want to convert to float. Print of float of E. Okay, so this is nothing but a float because it is a big number, so that's why it is going to be written in E. Okay, that is nothing but exponential. So in the powers. Okay, so simply adding 0 only. This is nothing but adding 0. So I hope it's clear to all. Okay, now yesterday I discussed about a function called input, right? All of you remembered what input function will do, because we are discussing about input function, right? All of you remembered what input function will do. Yesterday we seen some example also by giving some input and displaying the same as output. Okay, so we are discussing about input function. Again, I'll revise what we seen in yesterday's class. Input. What input? Input is a function that is used to read input from user. Read input from user. Already we seen some examples. Now we'll write some more examples so that you'll get some more idea. I'll write a program for input function. So here, example for input. Okay. So A is equals to input of enter your name. Print you entered comma A. Similarly, B is equals to input of enter your roll number. Okay. Print of your roll number is B. Okay. So if you observe here, just I am using two input functions to read name and to read your roll number, and two print functions to display your name and to display your roll number. Any doubts in this program? Any doubts in this program? I hope all of you. This is a comment already. I told you. Comment means simply explanation for this program. Explanation. Whenever you are writing hash, that is going to be treated as a comment in Python. Comment means it is not going to be considered as a Python statement. It is ignored. It is ignored by the Python interpreter. It is not going to be considered. Okay. Can you guess what is the output of this program? Anyone guess what is the output of this program? What we are supposed to enter and what is the output? What is input function? What is print function? If you are clear with that input and print function, then this program is not a difficult one. Okay. So please guess what is the output here? Output is whatever I entered for the name, that will be displayed. You entered the name, whatever you given for A, and here also whatever you entered roll number, that is nothing but your output. Okay, but the thing is, you should know what is the difference between print function and input function. Print is nothing but for display purpose. Input is for reading purpose. Print is for display purpose. Input is for reading purpose. Okay. So now I want to save this program. Save as. Just I'm saving this program. Save as. Okay. So now I'm saving this program with some file name 17.py. 17 is my file name. .py is your program extension. Okay. I'm saving this. So now it is saved as -17.py. All of you please observe this program. When I'm running this program, how I am giving input, that is very important. Run module. It is asking enter your name. I am giving XYZ. XYZ. I am giving. This is input. Immediately it is displayed. You entered XYZ, and there is a one more input. It is expecting enter your roll number. For example, I am giving some roll number 501. So your roll number is 501. Okay. So the black colored one is nothing but input. The black colored one here XYZ. So this is input given by me. And here also black colored one 501 is the input given by me. How we are giving input? Already I told you. There is a blink. There is a blink. Blink means if you are using input function, again I'll run this. If you are using input function, if you observe here, there is a blink. Okay. This line is nothing but we can say it's a blinking. It's blinking, right? So this line is blinking, going and coming, right? So that's why it is expecting something. You can give something. You can use some. Okay, you can use some name here. For example, you can use some A B C D E F. That is name. And again, there is one more blink. Again, it is expecting something. Why it is expecting? Because you are using input function. Input means you are giving. You are supposed to give something. Roll number 401. So this is the output. Understood all of you this program? Any doubts? Understood all of you? Understood all of you this program? How we are giving input, how we are getting output. These two functions are very, very important. Almost in all the Python programs, we are supposed to use these functions. What are the functions? The function is print and function is input. Print function is used for displaying something, and input function is used for reading something and displaying something. This print is also known as output function because it is giving something to us. That's why it is known as output function, and input is nothing but known as input function because it is taking something from us. It is taking something from us, right? Any doubts? So far, any doubts? Okay, and one more important point here regarding this input function. Input function input function always always reads only strings. Only strings. It is very important point. Please, all of you, remember this. This is very important. Input function always reads only strings, or we can say, okay, reads. We can say uh, reads data in string format. String format. So that is a simple explanation. What is meant by input function always reads only strings means it is going to read the input in string format only. In string format only. Okay, that is fine. But I want to read a number. A number. But input function is going to read only in string format. But I want to read a number. Then what we'll do? What we'll do? We are supposed to do the conversion. That is what here we are doing. Okay, this is nothing but different types of conversions. Converting integer to float, converting float to integer, converting integer to complex. Similarly, okay, similarly, if you want, if you want to read numbers using input function, if you want to read numbers using input function, then you need to convert to integer. So this is very important. Okay, so if you want to check the meaning of this point, we'll see what is the meaning of this point. I'll show you what is the meaning of this point. Okay, I'll show you the meaning of this point through program. Okay, so yes, I'll write a simple program so that you can understand what is the meaning of that point. All of you please observe here. So just I'm writing some a is equals to input of enter number, input of enter number, or enter any number, enter any number, enter any number. Okay, I'll give number here actually. Print of you entered you entered a. Now you check it out. What is the type of a? Okay. So now with this program you can understand what this input function is doing, or what is the meaning of this line. All of you please read this line 2 times, okay, or 3 times, so that you can understand what I'm trying to explain. Input function always reads only strings, or input function reads the data in string format only. Okay. Now, can anyone guess? What is the output of this program? If my input is say 100. If my input is say 100, if I given 100 for A, what is the output of this program? Please all of you guess. If I given A value 100, then tell me what is the output of this program? What is the output of this program? Yes, class str. Yes, Ram Charan, your answer is correct. Remaining students, actually 100 is not a string, right? It is an integer. But even though it is integer, as I said, always input function reads the input in the form of a string only. So that's why we'll get string here. I'll show you the output. I'll show you the output. Just I'm saving this program. All of you please observe carefully. Run module. Enter any number. I'm giving some 250. Actually, it is a number. Okay, but what we got last line? All of you please observe last line. I given 250. Actually, 250 is a number. Means in Python terminology, we can say it is a integer. 250 is a integer because it is not having any decimal point. Okay, so that we can say it's an integer. But what we got here, the type we got the type is string. We got the type is string. Why it is not giving integer? Why it is giving string? The explanation for this output is this line. Input function always reads only the data in a form of a string only. So that is the meaning for this output. All of you understood? Any doubts here? Any doubts here? Any doubts here? I think my network is fine. My volume also 100. Okay. Yes. Any doubts? Okay. My question is, how can I convert that to integer? How can I convert that to integer? Because it is showing string, right? For example, I want to add two numbers. If I want to add two numbers, if it is a string, then I won't get the correct result. It should be a number. For example, I want to add 100 and 200. I want to add 100 and 200. Here I got some 250. I have one more number, some 200. If I want to add 250 and 200, my answer should be 250 plus 200, 450. When I'll get 450, if this 250 is integer and the 200 are integer, if both are integers, then only we'll get a 450 as the answer. But if they are not in integer format, then you won't get the answer as 450. For that reason, what we are going to do is we are going to do the conversion. Simple. If you observe these examples here, how we converted integer to float, how we converted float to integer, how we converted integer to complex. In the similar way, I want to convert. So if I want to convert, simply I can write int before input function. I can write int. That's it. Int of input of enter. Okay, something you can write enter a number or anything. So this is a simple logic to convert. This is a simple logic to convert any input. Obviously, that by default input will be in string format. Input function is going to read the data in string format. If you convert that to integer format, you can write int. If you want to convert, okay, convert to int. So now, what is this conversion? Convert string to int. We can say this is convert string to int because input from here to here, it is in string format. From here to here, it is in string format. But I don't want string, I want integer. Then what I'll do? I'll write integer here. Same thing. For example, I want to convert to float. Again, you do the same. Convert string to float. How can we convert this string to float? How can I convert a string to float? Instead of int, I can write float. So this is the way how you are going to convert your string to float. Simply, you can convert to complex also. Convert string to complex. How we are going to convert the string to complex? So instead of float or int, you can write complex here. That's it. This is very, very important. How we are going to convert any string to different numbers format. Different numbers means if you want to convert to integer, then simply you can write int before input. If you want to convert to floats, then simply you can write float before input. If you want to convert to complex, then simply you can write complex before input. Understood, all of you? These are very, very important. How, sir? Means what you are not getting, Raju? Just now we converted, right? If you are understood, the conversion like integer to float. If you observe the conversion of integer to float, float to integer, integer to complex. In the similar way, you can convert the string to integer, string to float, and string to complex. Just before input function, you write it. Okay, I'll explain some examples so that you can understand. Okay, for example, now a is equals to 400. What is this type of a? What is type of a? What is type of a? Anyone can guess what is type of a? Okay, integer. Very good. So type of a is integer. Very good. Now I am going to take a is equals to 400. What is the type of A now? Anyone guess what is the type of A? What is the type of A? String. Okay, fine. Okay, type of A is a string. Okay, fine. Now, if you want to convert this string to integer, then simply what you are going to write is print of int of A. Int of A. That's it. Int of A. Now you got 400. If you want to know whether it is integer or not, then you can write type function. Okay, type function is nothing but simply used to convert something from one. Okay, so it will give you the what type of data you are using, and if you want to convert, you can convert it. For example, simple example. Okay, A is equals to some this thing. This is actually a string. If I want to convert to integer, then I can write simply print of int of A. Print of int of A. So this is integer for the string. This is actually string format and this is the integer format. How I converted? Simply I written int of this thing so that this is going to be converted. Understood all of you? Understood all of you? Please respond. Are you getting or not? Okay. So now we'll see some programs for these conversions. We'll see some programs so that you can understand. Okay. Now here, if you observe here, okay. Now anyone can suggest me how can I convert this to a number? How can I convert this to number or integer? What is the modification I'm supposed to do here? What is the modification I'm supposed to do here? For this program, simply if I keep int here, then it is nothing but it is going to be converted to integer. That's it. This is what I'm talking about. Okay. This is obviously in string format because input of anything is going to be in string format. So I don't want string format. I want integer. So that's why I written int of something. So int of whatever you are written, that will be converted to integer. Let me give you some examples. Okay. So before that, I will write some program so that you can understand what will happen if you are not written int. I'll tell you. Okay. Programmatically, what will happen if you are not written int. Okay, so I am not writing int here. Just you check it out. What is the problem if you are not converting? Okay, so I am reading this. Entered any number A. Print you entered A. Okay. Next, I'll read one more number. B also. B is equals to input of enter any other number. Any other number. Okay. You entered. So you entered B. Print of sum is A plus B. Okay. Now anyone can guess what is the output of this program if you assume A value 100, B value 200. A value 100, B value 200. Assume A value 100 I given, B value 200 I given. Can you guess what is the output of this program? Please all of you respond. If you assume A value 100 I given, A value 100 for example, I given B value 200 I given, then tell me what is the output of this last line. It will display error. Okay. Any other guesses? Remaining students, only two or three students are responding. Only Adinarayana Chaudhary, Ram Charan, Vema Jyoti, Padma Kumari, Bhavya, Nagadipti. Few students are responding. Remaining students also please be active so that you can understand everything in the class itself. Okay, yeah, some of the students are responding. It's giving 300. Remaining students, please respond. Whatever you are understanding. Okay, whatever you are guessing, you can guess it out. No problem. Sum is 100 plus 200, 300. Okay. Yeah. The answer for this question is, okay, it is going to print if I given 100 as A and if I given 200 as B, this is my output 100, 200. Okay. If you want, you can check it out. The output should be 100, 200. Why? I told you input is always going to read in string format only. Okay, I'll show you that output later. I'll try to convert into integer format. Okay, so now I'll run this program. All of you please observe carefully. Okay, enter any number. I am giving 100. You entered 100. Enter any other number. I am giving 200. What is the sum? All of you please observe the last line. What is the output we got? Is it 300? It's not 300. It is 100, 200. Why we got 100, 200? The reason is, this is the reason. This is the reason. Input function always reads only the data in string format. So I given 100. Even though 100 is a number or it is an integer for me, okay, Python is going to consider 100 in the form of string only. Why? Because I am using input function only. I am not converting to integer. Similarly, 200. 200 also, maybe it is a number to me, but Python is going to treat this 200 also in string format. So this 100 and 200 are going to be considered as strings only because you are using only input function. You are not using any integer for that. So that's why the output is we got 100, 200. Is it clear? Is it clear? Please respond. Is it clear? Why we are getting this output? Okay. Now my question is, we are supposed to get the actual answer. What is the actual answer? It should be like 300, right? Okay. So for that, what you are going to do is, you try to convert this to integer format. Int of. Now it is converted to integer. Whatever you are given, it will be converted to integer. Here also same. It will be converted to integer. Whatever you are given, it will be converted to integer. Now I'll write, okay. Now I'll run this program. Now you check it out. What's the output you will get it? Enter any number 100. Enter any number 200. If you observe here, sum is 300. Previously same program, you got sum is 100, 200. But now I changed it to integer numbers. That's why we got the correct answer 100 plus 200, 300. The only difference to the previous program and this program is, in the previous program I didn't convert it to that string to integer here and here. Simply I took only input only. I didn't convert it to integers. Understood all of you? Remaining students understood? Understood or not? That is very important point. Most of the students are going to do mistake here. Simply they will read the input. By using input function, but they won't convert to particular number format. Okay. Now my question is, this is simple. I can say this program is. I can say I'll give some title for this program. The title for this program is sum of two integers. This is the title of the program. Okay. Now my question is, I want to perform sum of two float numbers. What are the modifications required in this program? I want to perform sum of two float numbers. Please let me know what are the modifications required. Please type it in the chat box. What are the modifications required? Float will be added instead of int. Very good. Sri Prajna. Very good. Change into float. Yes. Okay. So in that way, you try to learn the things. Okay, you try to modify, you try to learn each and every point in the program. If you know each and every point in the program, the modifications are very easy and you can understand in detail what is happening. Very good, all of you are responding. Right, okay, now we'll do the same. Now we'll do the same. Okay. So now, same program, but I want to perform with some other numbers. Numbers means I want to do with the float numbers. Float numbers. Okay. So now I'll change this title. Sum of two float numbers. Float numbers. So here instead of int, simply I can keep float. That's it. So that whatever you are giving, that will be converted to float. That's it. Okay. Now I'll save this program. I'll save this program. So now I'll run this program. Enter any number. I'm giving some 10.2. Enter any other number. I'm giving 20.4. Okay. So you got this 30.59999. Okay. So for example, if I want to do some complex addition of two complex numbers, what is the logic for that? Addition of two complex numbers. We seen addition of two integers, addition of two float numbers. If I want to do addition of two complex numbers, then what are the modifications should be done for this program? Look at this program and tell me what modifications are required to perform addition of two complex numbers. Please respond. Yeah, replace float with a complex. That's it. Complex is replaced with float. Yes. Yeah. Okay. So that is a form of question for you people. Assignment question. So what is the assignment question? Assignment question. I'll give some questions as assignment. One is Python program. Python program to perform subtraction of integers. Second program Python program to perform subtraction of float numbers. Next, third program, Python program to perform addition of complex numbers. I hope all of you can write these programs. Any difficulty? Are you able to complete these three programs? Subtraction means simply you can write minus instead of plus. You can write minus. Okay. If you write other operations also, then that is very good. Maybe you can go for multiplication of integers, multiplication of float numbers, division of integers, division of float numbers. Also, if you are written, then that is okay. That is fine. Okay, at least but you try these programs. Okay, don't write the numbers in the program. You are supposed to use input function. Must and should you are supposed to use input function. Okay. So what is meant by writing numbers means don't write a equals to 100, b equals to 100, print a plus b. That is not going to be called as a program because must and should you are supposed to use this input functions. If you use input function, then only it is going to take any type of input. Okay, don't assume any a value, don't assume any b value in the program. You are supposed to read by using input function only. That is the condition here. So I hope all of you can do that, right? Yeah. Any doubts for the three programs, whatever I given here? All of you can complete these three programs by tomorrow. Please respond. Any doubts for the programs, whatever I given? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So and we'll see some more programs for the type conversion. So these are actually the program for addition. Now I want to convert some uh, one value to other value, type conversion program, pure type conversion only. Okay. So now I am going to take number one. Number one is equals to int of input enter any number. So now I want to convert this print of after converting the entered number to float. Then I can write float of number one. Just I am doing pure conversion. Nothing is there here. Just I am reading some number in integer format. That number one now in integer format. That number one just I am trying to convert into float format. Okay. So let me save this program. Okay. So now I'll run this program. Enter any number. I am giving some 123. Okay. After converting the entire number to float, the output is 123.0. 123.0. Right. So this is simple integer to float conversion. We are taking integer number. And that integer number I am trying to convert to float. Any doubts? Right. Okay. Now I want to convert the same integer number. To complex. Okay. So print of after converting the entered number to complex. After converting the entire number to complex, so complex of number one. So now we'll see. So just I'm adding one more conversion. Enter any number. I am giving some 189. Okay. So here just I am doing first float conversion, integer to float conversion. That is 189.0 is float, and I am trying to convert same 189 integer to complex because there is no imaginary part. 189 plus 0j is the complex format for the integer 189. Understood all of you? Any doubts? Please respond if you have any doubts. Okay. So if you don't have any doubts, then I'll give some more questions. Assignment. Python program to perform various conversions. Various conversions means maybe you can take some integer number, convert to float, or you can take some float number, convert to int. You can take some integer number, convert to complex. You can take some complex number, convert to float. You can take some complex number, convert to integer, like that. Okay. I hope all of you can do these 4 programs by tomorrow. Let me know if you have any doubts. Okay, right. If you don't have any doubts, I'll stop here. Okay, let me know any doubts are there. I'll take queries from you. If you have any queries from your side in today's class, any queries, any type of queries are there, please respond with your queries in the chat box. Again, I'll revise the conversions using conversions using input only. whatever the program now onwards you are writing, whatever the programs you are writing from now onwards, all the programs with input functions only. Initially, in the first 2 or 3 classes, we written some programs. Okay, in that we are not using input because we are not covered input function at that time. But once input function, you are supposed to use input function only in all the programs. So that is must and should. Okay. So any doubts for remaining students? Any doubts? If you have any doubts, please let me know.